Hello, Dr. Singh. Thank you very much for coming. This is our second time we are interacting. Actually, we have got tremendous response of our first podcast. And my friends, some of your friends and people who are associated with them, our network is widely acknowledging, our effort to educate our people, friends, families, and patients, most important. So we decided that this time we are going to do a full session on patient education. And this session, we would try to answer some of the realistic questions. Like as a patient, if I'm facing some of the questions, I'm going to ask you those questions. I was on social media for many, I love social media. So that's the primary source of information, how I get some of the questions from my friends. So I'm going to talk about those questions in this podcast. But to start with, it's absolutely my pleasure to be talking to you. You are a physician. You have spent a considerable amount of time in India. You love India as your motherland. We all know that. We read your articles. We read your LinkedIn posts. And I grew up in India. So one of the things, I am habitual, and that thought came to my mind because one of my friend who put a post on Facebook that his parents are visiting from India, and they are out of medicine because he had to extend their trip. And when he tried to contact his physician, his obvious answer was that they have to go through a lab testing in order to even order a small pills for blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes kind of thing. When we were growing up in India, I never saw that happening. And I know this is a culture here now that you need a lab testing for any prescriptions you do. So I don't know how to answer that. So I said, let me answer it. Let me ask this question to Dr. Singh during this podcast, and we'll start our conversation right from here.
Thank you, Kunal, for inviting me. But this is a great question, and I can tell you, since I'm always looking to advance my business, you tell your friend we can do a telehealth meeting. We don't need labs.
Right.
We can do telemedicine and take care of his or her needs, and respecting our parents and our seniors and our elderly. I will do it for them for minimum consideration. Of course, I have to follow Medicare rules, but we will do it for them, and
But his question is, how are you going to do it without having a lab testing? Would you just follow the ancient traditional? And I'm curious to know that, because then.
So think about it, right? If a person has hypertension, you don't need labs. What we can do is we can get the labs from India if they were done. We can ask them what were the labs done a year ago, 2 years ago, as long as the kidney function is stable. See, you have to balance it out, right? Someone has diabetes. They cannot do labs, even though labs are relatively inexpensive.
Right.
CMP is $10, $12. It's not that expensive as long as you negotiate properly with the lab.
Right.
We can help them with that too.
Right.
But what is more important, making sure the medicines are being taken so the sugar doesn't go up very high, or holding the medication because the lab wasn't done.
Right.
So if it's a short duration,
it's perfectly all right in current scenario. You can prescribe a medication for them.
Why not? Yeah, someone is on a diabetic medicine is stable. Continue the medicine. Whenever there is a need for labs, we will do it. We are doing it for all our patients. Patients who are stable, why would you need to send them to a crowded lab?
In the lockdown situation, when they can't come out, that's the scenario he was asking.
My suggestion is let's take care of our patients first.
Okay.
And a lot of these unnecessary barriers that we have erected for ourselves, let's get rid of them. And actually, look, telemedicine, the world has evolved. We need to play catch up, right?
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I was thinking, we never had blood work used. We never had those kind of things until I turned 18. So it's absolutely a new way of medicine. And I think it's going back to the ancient wisdom, and some of it comes from India a lot. So that's a good one. Another thing, while we are in a lockdown situation, of course, we only do the essential things. We are normally practicing some of our lifestyle changes and, doing more and more Zimming at home or working out nearby park, running, walking, biking, whatever little extracurricular or little extra we can do to keep ourselves fit. So what suggestions do you have to minimize the risk exposure to the virus for those kind of people where you think that this could be a potential threat for spreading the virus?
So exercise in open air, make sure it's not crowded. The same rules, keep 6 foot distance. If gyms are closed, so
right. But people are doing it at home and
do it at home.
I've seen actually in the park, people are doing in the group. They're maintaining a distance, and people are bringing their own equipment and doing it in the group.
Right. You can do Tai Chi, you can do planks, you can do little yoga. You can take a brisk walk. Nothing better than a brisk walk. Stretching exercises, little jogging. If you have a stationary bicycle, those are good exercises. And walk around your house.
And there's no exposure of risk. You don't think there's a risk exposure, because a lot of people, they have the fear in their mind. They think, even if they just walk out, or if they take a baby outside their home, what if they get a virus? Or, that's a fear. So how to break the barrier of that fear in your mind?
I think open air is important. The sun is important. They need to go out. Staying cooped in the house is not good. A little exercise for the body, toning up, positive attitude. Remember, the virus is not a super powerful entity.
Right.
What is more powerful than the virus? Our immunity.
That's true.
Right? We have been here. I've been here 51 years, thank God, right? What has kept me alive? Not that I had barriers before me. I didn't live. I didn't go and play in the soil when I was growing up.
Yeah.
We didn't go in the pool with 50 other children around us, 100 people in the one pool.
Right.
Immunity, our immunity, that is our protection.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been given this protection. We have a beautiful system to protect us.
Right.
So this fear of not living, it makes no sense. Mm-hmm. Go out in the sun, walk in the open air, exercise, stretch, be happy, be thankful, be joyous, pray for yourself, pray for others, talk to your friends, be nice, smile a lot. These things keep your immunity good. Have antioxidants, eat a lot of greens. So that's
a diet you are, and what about the other dietary restrictions? Do you have? That's a good one, actually. People are looking for dietary advice. So what do you think would be the best diet at this moment, where people don't want to gain weight? They don't want to. Actually, for me, it's working out great. If I stay home, I cook by myself. We don't go out. We don't eat in the restaurants. But we miss restaurant foods. But I see a more healthier world from my perspective. What do you see the trend is going?
The best thing is to grow your own food and cook your own food.
Uh-huh.
Now, most people can't do it, but traditionally in this country, people used to grow their own food in the backyard. People used to grow their herbs and their fruit and little strawberries and little figs. I still have patients who bring me oranges. I mean, we're in Florida, the home of citrus, where every
That's
home
true. It's you come from Hernando County and you have so many offices there. You treat thousands of patients. So Florida, you can definitely, focus on the patients who are living in Florida. It's like a heaven.
Yeah, so fruit, green leaves, leafy vegetables, eating those things are very good for you. How much food is being wasted right now? I just read today, 150 tons per person, and fruit and vegetables are not being used. So let us start consuming that.
Right.
Wash it with soap, wash it nicely. You won't get COVID from eating healthy. Actually, it'll prevent it. You need your vitamins.
The fear people have in their mind is, let's say I ordered food from Costco or I ordered something from Publix using technology, but people who are delivering it to your, how are you going to conduct yourself or see that the things which are being shipped on your doorstep, at every moment you touch something, that's where the fear comes.
Right. So you can wear gloves.
Yeah.
Most people will have the gloves. You wash in your sink, you have gloves. If you don't want to do that, you just pick them up, bring them inside in a corner, wash your hands, then wash each fruit. You can wash them with soap. Soap is great. We don't need disinfectants.
So just be extra cautious. That's it. For
It's
everyone
fine.
who comes from outside, or you pick up, or you go out, you come back, you wash your hands, and that's
Wash your hands. Great. This disinfectant thing is mind-boggling that we got. It's good business.
Right.
But soap is good. Soap will get rid of the virus.
How about
Better
children
than disinfectant.
in the pool area, or people like going into the park or a little bit small beaches?
So stay away from touching, contact precaution, touching what everyone else is touching, right? So
okay.
That's the biggest way, most common way this virus is spreading. Somebody has conjunctivitis, they rub their eyes, they shake hands with you. Don't shake hands with people, keep your distance. Then airborne. Airborne is also people coughing in your face. That's why you want to be 6 feet away. But so if you're beaches are closed right now. I hope nobody's going to the beaches. But go out for a walk. Go in open spaces. Yesterday I saw people having a meeting in a big parking lot of Target.
Right.
They were all sitting. They brought their chairs 6 feet away. They're talking. And I think it was a church meeting or something. They were praying together. We can be creative. Human beings have an infinite ability to be creative.
My concern is when you are in the family. You are living like we have 5 people living in the family. Kids, yourself, parents, grandparents. Is there any exposure to the risk exposure right there within the family when you are aware that nobody is sick at this moment, but do we really need to take care at that moment?
Yeah, that's important. So our elderly, our parents, we have to make sure they're safe. My brother has gone crazy. He doesn't even let them share his phone.
Okay.
I mean, and the younger ones, and they're not allowing.
Even if you know there is no virus, but still you have to be cautious. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. So no maids are allowed from outside. Everybody is hunkered down inside the house. Anything they need, they call, they order. It's delivered to the doorstep. So they are keeping your parents very safe. Stay in a corner. Make sure they're getting good nutrition. Make sure they're exercising. Positive thinking, being positive about it, being fearless, being happy, sharing time with your friends. You can see the advantage of this. We have social media, just like we are talking, FaceTime, and all this can be done. So I think keeping them involved, keeping them busy, and just
no touching and keep us distance even within the family members.
I think we can be safe, especially if someone catches a cold.
Okay. So that's so somebody called me the other day, and this guy has a big family. His son just got married, and he lives on the water. And he said, my daughter-in-law, she got cough and cold, and we have quarantined her in her own room. We are staying in a different room. So, but when they called Baycare or the hospital, they said as long as she has she does not have any temperature, she is okay. So, but they are so worried and fearful that they are still keeping her in a quarantined room.
Right. So self-isolation is going to be very important, especially to keep the young ones away from our elderly. That's very important. Our parents obviously need to be away from this. If she doesn't have fever, if she doesn't have loss of smell, if she's not having the severe symptoms, then it's likely not COVID. So younger people can handle it much more easily than our elderly, but making sure that she stays away from them. I think it's a smart thing to do. At least 7 to 10 days, she should stay in self-isolation and keep them safe.
So 7 to 10 days is a normal for even people who are found positive from coronavirus. What's the timeline like? They just...
The incubation period, they say, and depends on whom you're asking, 3 to 7 days. So normally self-isolation is 7 to 10 days. Usually the authorities will tell you 14 days, just to be very safe. I think it's important that we realize that some people can be carriers. There are some studies that people who have had COVID still carry the virus. So you're not out of the woods, but most likely 10 to 14 days is enough self-isolation. We should not let our guard down. Remember, there are concerns about it having recurring, coming back. In China, there are some cases after the lockdown is lifted, started coming back. There were some cases of a tiger. There was a case of a tiger carrying COVID.
Yes, I heard about that.
So, and then some people who had COVID and recovered, they got it again. So we need to make sure if someone has it, we keep testing them until they're negative.
Right.
And don't let our guard down. If someone is testing negative, don't presume that they're negative because the next test might be positive.
Right.
So anytime you have symptoms, self-isolate.
Okay.
Especially from our parents.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So this is fantastic. I think we are having a great conversation here. Somebody also sent me a message about, and they live in Dubai, and they said our daughters are stuck in dorms in university area, and most of the universities are closed. Nobody is allowed, the students are not allowed to do any activities out there, but those who are living in dorms because they can't travel outside the country, they had a little bit fever, so they went to emergency, got testing done, came out negative. But these are young kids, like 18 to 20-year-old, and they may not be very well versed of cooking and other things, the daily logistic stuff. So parents are worried and they can't do anything. So there are groups, there are volunteer groups from the community who are helping them out, dropping the grocery, picking them up because they can't drive, dropping them. So these are the activities which are happening. And so that is, sometimes it's, what do you think, like how we can minimize the risk of exposure there? I mean, I know I had to go once to help her out and drop the groceries for her. I stayed away from her as well as from her room, but there is definitely some kind of touch and exposure out there.
Yes, there is. And so all we can do is educate them a lot, talk to them, remind them. Our young ones can be a little more reckless at times, so remind them. Also, they get cooped up, so they want to go out and celebrate. We had in our county some children from school going and having some parties.
Yeah.
Telling our children to be careful. And I understand they wanted their proms, they wanted all their end of the year graduation,
right,
and all those they'll have to miss. But we have to talk to them, make sure they understand. I mean, my own son wanted to go to New York during this epidemic, and I had to reason with him and make him understand that it's not a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
And it took a while.
Yeah.
But finally, once he understood, he appreciated it.
Right.
So I took time to spend. I even apologized for not letting him go to New York.
Yeah.
And what the universities, the smart thing they did was, and all non-international students, all students who are within the country, at least in the US, they've asked them to go home.
Correct.
So the only ones that are staying there are international students.
They are international, and that's the problem with them, yeah.
I hope Dubai has done the same thing. And so that reduces the risk. Online classes are going on. That helps. I think they have been the universities have done a great job in minimizing the risk to the
But when it comes to the cleanliness, I tell you what's happening, and that I really like what's happening in India. In India, they are taking they have cleaning crews who are taking very, very aggressive, and I see the pictures and probably you must have seen those pictures. They are actually cleaning the public spaces wherever there is a threat to the exposure. I don't see those kind of things happening here. So even comparatively, places are cleaner out here. But so when I was going there to drop grocery, I had to go into the lift. Touch the lift a couple of times, drop the stuff. So every time I touch some place, it just, creates a fear in my mind. What should I do? And that is, I think, the fear is the most important and most devastating, thing which is happening into the minds of patients.
So keep your mask on. If possible, go with gloves on. And I think masks are easy to make. Don't have to be the N95 masks.
Right.
Regular masks, you can even have someone sew it at home. And if you can make extra, share it with the community.
Indian handkerchief.
Yeah, even the Prime Minister of India was wearing that mask. He took that big cloth and put it on his face. Yeah. I like what they're doing in India in this sense. For the first time, people are really... Healthcare has come to the fore in India and has become the most important thing, which it should have been.
Yes, that's true.
It always have been.
Yes.
In the US also, people have become more conscious of their habits.
Right.
And I hope this persists. Once this goes, we stay more conscious of what we eat. how we interact with each other, how we exercise, how we can be healthier, how we can build our immunity. Like I was reading this doctor in New York, he's suggesting vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D to reduce. He says these will take care of the virus.
Right.
Now, if he's right, I mean, we are overwhelming our hospital systems. We are overwhelming all this healthcare providers. If it is so simple, and hopefully research will show, then we come back to a healthy living.
Correct.
We come back to staying positive.
I know vitamin C is a very common thing for cold and cough, and they prescribe.
Right. So go out in the sun, soak a little sun, get your vitamin D, have a little lemon juice or lemonade or shikanji in India they would have. If amla is available. I mean, orange juice, grapefruit, all these are very good sources of vitamin C. Take a vitamin C tablet and vitamin A.
Yeah, vitamin A is good. Yeah.
So let's focus on these things. Contact precautions are very important. Young ones should know, but make sure the young ones are taking their vitamins and eating healthy.
Florida is a home of oranges and now.
Yes.
So that's
absolutely.
Even so vitamin C right here. It's grown up right here.
So much fruit and vegetables is being dumped right now. You can't even imagine. Go buy it. Use it.
And what do you think for people who are not habitual of eating so much vegan food or vegetables and they eat meat everyday basis almost? What's your suggestion? I know as a doctor you would not suggest it, but what people who are habitual of doing that, what's the best diet food for them?
Well, if you enjoy meat, have it. There's no problem. Have a little bit. Don't overdo it. But don't live on a meat and potatoes diet. Get your vitamins in just for your own health.
Correct.
And it's always, I love it's lemon juice, lemonade. You can make it tasty. You can make, oranges can be used for so many things.
Correct.
You can put it in your salad. You have
orange
to be
creative. Yeah.
Or take a multivitamin. What else can you do? Take a multivitamin. Better to get fiber. Better to eat the greens, the bitters. Those are very good for you. Antioxidants, though that will kill the virus more than our meat intake.
Right. Well, one question always comes to my mind because what happened, a lot of patients, they call and they say, we don't know telemedicine. We don't know how to use even phone for video or how to jump on laptop and they receive an email. Click here, go and see the doctor. So it's kind of, like especially those who are in the age between bracket of 75 and 90, and they just can't even comprehend that. They can't even think that I can see my doctor using a computer. So what suggestion do you have for them? And they are going to probably listen this or their kids are going to listen this. What should their kids be talking to them and convincing them and communicating to them?
So if we are able to help almost half of our patients, if they don't know how to, we'll even have them come and work on their smartphone, and if they have one, Android. If they don't have it, then we work with them just on a phone call. We'll do a phone call.
Right.
Often children will help. Children will use their smartphone and just set it up. The neighbor will help.
Right.
So all kinds of, our goal right now is connecting.
Right.
Letting them know we are here for them.
Right.
And whatever their needs are, taking care of it. Right. Most of them nowadays, 80% of our seniors have a mobile device. Right. 80%.
No, that is true. And 90% mobile devices are smartphones. So even more than 90%. So
it just someone needs to be savvy enough to be able to help them. Either children or neighbors, or we will do it. We get a technical person to help.
Did it change our front office receptionist protocols? Did it change? Now, are we communicating more on the phone and explaining it to that's what's happening, right?
Significant change due to this, because our front office is afraid, right? They're taking the onslaught.
So they must be working from home too.
Whoever can work from home, whoever has the ability to work from home, we're giving them the devices, or if they have it, connecting them, Wi-Fi, whatever. what IT, I'm not an expert
Cultural
in
shift,
IT.
yes, but the entire cultural shift is happening.
Yeah, whoever can, even same thing in India, whoever can work from home,
Right.
laptops and whatever, webcams and whatever needs to be done, that's how they're accessing.
What do you think, for how long this will go?
I think it will change our healthcare approach fundamentally. This will go on for at least 3 to 6 months. I was listening to the HCA hospital summary. They are saying not only is this going to reduce admissions for the next 3 months, it may reduce it for the whole year.
Yeah, this is a radical shift.
Yeah. Hospital admissions have gone down by almost 50%.
I know our volume from elective surgeries went down from 70%, it went down.
Right. So did we really need all this? People going to the ER, they get admitted.
Yeah, that's a bigger question, was it?
Yeah, so now bigger fear is, getting infected. Right. So all these 50% of patients going to the ER get admitted. Now tell me, was that really necessary if that can be reduced now? So we need to be more conscious about how we are using our resources. We have become bloated. And I was listening to someone, an economist today. He was saying the real economy is hidden by this flab that we have over everything we do. Once that is taken out, actually this is exposing what is real and what is just bogus. And in fact, there will be a big hit for the next few months, but he feels that we will get better globally because our real economy, real strengths will come out along with our real weaknesses. So hopefully we will learn from this and really focus on what is needed for healthcare. Correct. For example, if I can, like you said, why are labs needed for that patient?
Right.
Person is hypertensive needs a atenolol. I don't need labs. If the labs were done 6 months ago, I don't need them. Why waste their time? They come, they sit in the waiting room. They sit in my exam room. I'm running around, scurrying one after the other. Why is all this necessary? Let them sit at home. I connect with them in 10 minutes, focused attention. We take care of their needs. They don't have to go anywhere. It is a better utilization of their time. It's a better connection. We are talking to each other. We are engaged. I'm not keeping my head down and typing away while they're talking to me. So some patients like it. I think.
No, I like it. I'm meeting more and we are enjoying this conversation and we can reach so many people. They can be benefited out of our conversation.
Our children are fine with virtual education. They're watching, all this.
Yeah. Schools have become virtual. They're taking all of their classes online.
So new generation will not need, the sicker ones, as we discussed before, will need face-to-face or touch and all. But most people will not need it.
But I think sports medicine, where you need X-rays, MRIs, all of that stuff would be probably in future. But right now, it's very difficult to. And that's what worries me more, because all of these patients who are canceling their elective surgeries, people who are putting themselves, right now on hold. I have pain in my shoulder. I'm not going to the orthopedic doctor because I thought it can wait. After 2 months, 3 months, it's going to be chaotic. Don't you think so?
It might be. So that might be the second surge after the epidemic surge, elective surge.
Yeah.
But I think we need to be wise about it. We need to pace it.
Right.
This is a marathon. We should not try to catch up. But I understand specialists who have been hurt badly will try to play catch up. I think it will have to be timed properly so that the system, again, doesn't get overwhelmed.
Well, Medicare has paid a good bounty on Easter for all of the physicians.
Well, even that is not without strings. So
that's
they
what
want.
I'm saying. It's a good bounty. It's a free money. It's basically to incentivize them. We were talking about a stimulus last time in our thing, and you said it's sequestration. This is the early sequestration they have already given.
Yes, they have, but there are strings attached to it. So make sure you tell your clients.
What do you think? What are the strings?
Well, so in the statute or the money that's released, they are saying this money be used, the grant is to be used for taking care of COVID positive patients or practices that have been affected by COVID and are trying to cope with it. So you have to document it. There's no such thing.
Yeah, I mean, the practices, if they are canceling appointments, the practices are affected by COVID.
Right. So they have to document it. See, the only free cheese is in a mousetrap.
Right. No, but it's better than the payroll protection program because you have to apply for it. Here, they have pushed the money directly through their Medicare contractor, which is, I think, a very smart move so that there is no, it's alleviate the fear out of their mind. So, well, thank you very much. I think we had a great conversation. The last thing I would like to know is, do you think any near horizon, any anti-COVID, anti-coronavirus medicine coming out in the market? What do you think about it?
We are talking about hydroxychloroquine.
I don't know if that is the solution, but what do you think is coming in the market?
It might help. Remdesivir is being used. That's another medication that might be promising. So I'm sure, all these trials will happen. Vaccine, I'm told it will take 12 to 18 months, but it may not even be needed because this virus is not like the flu virus that will keep coming back, although we don't know completely. But the feeling is like SARS, like Ebola. It won't keep coming back every year.
Okay.
So that's a good thing. Hopefully we won't need the vaccine.
Okay, good. Well, thank you very much. And I think we had a great session. We'll keep doing these sessions to educate our patients and physicians. So thank you, Dr. Singh. And I will take a leave right here. Thank you.